From the Daily Hodl, we have Ripple Chief predicts big run for Bitcoin in crypto markets, and he explains his reasoning why. This article is really interesting, guys. There's also a video that goes to it, so definitely stick around because we're going to go over this. I also want to go over Libra and a couple of things that they are doing. So Facebook's Libra appoints Credit Suisse director as compliance chief. So Libra's still out there, and they're making hires, and that's basically what this article is. They're hiring somebody from the banking world. We're also going to look at just a little bit of the Bitcoin chart. It's taking a little bit of a dump, so that's going on right now, and this is the second video for today. So if you guys appreciate 2 videos in one day, then liking this video would be greatly appreciated. So this morning, I don't know if you guys watch it, but I put out our daily cryptocurrency news video. So if you haven't watched this morning's video, go ahead and check it out after this video. But right now we are experiencing a bit of a dump. Everybody on Twitter is kind of freaking out, which I don't really know why, because when you actually look at this, quote unquote dump, it got completely bought up. So, it's not like it's completely dumping down to nothing. It got bought up, and it might continue to retrace, but as of right now, it's getting bought up, and we might close this daily underneath this support. And if we do, that could be a sign of some bearish activity. But if we zoom out here, and if you guys have been watching my previous videos before, I'm happy if this falls, because as I said, if you guys have been watching before, I'm looking to accumulate down on this lower trend line. That's why I haven't really been taking any positions up here. I've basically already locked in my positions, and what I've been basically saying over the past couple of days is if it moonshots up, that's great, and if it comes down and wants to test near this lower trend line between 5.5 to 6.5k, which I think that's pretty good buying areas of value for me to buy at. I'd be perfectly fine buying Bitcoin at 5.5 to 6.5 grand. I would definitely, if Bitcoin went down there, I would definitely be a buyer at those levels of value. So yeah, guys, I'm still sticking to that. This dump doesn't faze me. In fact, I think tomorrow we might be up. We also might be down, but I'm just saying tomorrow might be up. Like, this dump so far, it does not look like the end of the world. So I just hope none of you guys are selling. I hope none of you guys are panic selling, because in my opinion, we are so close to really just being out of this bear market. Like, if we just kind of zoom out here a little bit, just look at you. If you've already I've been in Bitcoin since around back here in 2017. So I bought my first Bitcoin, not down here. I knew about Bitcoin here, but I actually bought my first, not whole Bitcoin, but I started getting into Bitcoin around $2,000 to $3,000 when I first started buying a Bitcoin. So, and I experienced this whole bull run, and I didn't sell anything. I remember I even had a ton of Litecoin, and I watched my Litecoin go from, I don't know, I had like a couple $1,000s I invested into Litecoin, and I watched my portfolio grow all the way to $30,000, and I didn't sell anything because I had that hodl mentality. But guys, as of right now, we are so close out of this. You might as well keep hodling, because we are so close out of this. And with all the world events coming, when we get to the end of this thing, or whenever this decides to break out, I can't see it breaking down. I just cannot see Bitcoin breaking down out of this and dumping down into oblivion. I just don't see it happening with all the money being printed, with people going to safe haven assets, with what I'm going to show you guys here. I see a breakup. Sure, maybe we'll come down and we'll play around in here, but ultimately I think we're going up. So I'm holding strong, and hey, if it drops down, I'm looking to accumulate. So I hope you guys really aren't getting too shaken out. With that said, let's jump into this article. So Ripple Chief predicts big run for Bitcoin and crypto markets, and here is why. In a recent virtual meeting published on YouTube, Garlinghouse says he expects economic stimulus measures in the US and abroad to have a negative impact on the US dollar in the future. So this is what he said, quote unquote. I think the government stimulus now stands at about $3 trillion here in the United States alone. I expect it's going to continue to grow, and I think that, while probably necessary to prevent an even more significant macroeconomic calamity, it definitely is going to have an impact on the future. It will, I believe, result in the debasement of fiat currencies, and you are seeing that in some emerging markets already, where the exchange rates have started to shift, but even here in the United States, it's a factor. Garlinghouse points out the fact that Bitcoin was designed for a financial crisis, and so far it's working well. He says the crypto movement has created digital alternatives to gold, and he believes the crypto markets as a whole will benefit from the global economic crisis, just as gold itself did after the 2008 financial crisis. Now guys, after reading that, And then we look at this chart. And I just want you to, like, if you guys are on Twitter or you guys are on YouTube, you know the current market sentiment right now. Everybody's like losing their minds for some reason. So you're reading something like that coming from Brad Garlinghouse. I think everybody has to admit that Ripple has one of the largest teams. It's doing the most. It has the most partnerships. It has use case. It has real utility. Not that other coins don't, but Ripple, I think, is the one company that's working the absolute hardest, that has the biggest team, that is getting the most done, despite price not moving up. But that's a whole nother video, guys. But anyways, my point, you're getting someone like Brad Garlinghouse saying that, and right now you're getting shaken out by this little dumpage, right? We haven't even hit down to $5,000-$6,000 yet, and people are probably panic selling at this point. So like, just zoom out, right? If you're really the type of person right now who's panicking a little bit, you don't know what to do, you feel like this might dump, accept that it might dump. It might dump all the way down to here, and now are you prepared for that, right? But it's just, guys, it's crazy. Like, people on Twitter freaking out because of this one little candle, because we dropped down a couple $100. Like, this is crypto. If you can't handle that, this might not be the asset class for you. You know, this is a young, brand new asset class, and it's highly volatile. Anyways, guys, let's continue on. He says, it's important to remember that Bitcoin was born in the wake of that global financial crisis in 2008 and 2009. Gold has been a safe haven asset in lots of ways. It did drop during the beginning of the 2008 liquidity crisis. Ooh, the liquidity crisis. And what does XRP solve? It solves the liquidity problem. But then you saw it make a big run, and I think we're going to see a similar trajectory and a similar opportunity around the crypto market overall. Although Garlinghouse has long said he's bullish on Bitcoin as a store of value, he argues XRP's speed and efficiency makes it a far better asset for payments. He says the San Francisco startup will continue to target the use of XRP in cross-border remittances amid a surge of demand for digital transactions. He says again, quote, "We are going to continue to focus on how do we use XRP as a really effective tool for payments. We clearly are seeing the lockdown shelter-in-place dynamics have a big impact on cash-first remittance companies. So if you're unable to go to a physical store, then obviously you should expect that to go down. But we've also seen significant increases in digital-first players. Various public companies have shared decreases of 30 to 40% in their cash-centric business, but we've seen increases of 80 to 100% in those that are digital-first. And that obviously has been very good. Yeah, guys, if no one's out and spending cash because they're all locked home, then everything is going digital. It's basically inevitable at this point, and I think people are only going to be staying at their homes more and more and more, especially as the government scares them and propaganda scares them into staying home, and it's so safe, it's so dangerous outside. People are just going to get more sucked into their video games. They're going to get more sucked into their social media. People are brain dead addicted to social media as it is. I'm sure a lot of you guys, it might be hard to admit, but I know a lot of you probably sit around watching crypto YouTube videos all day. And that's fine, because a lot of people have been there. But if you are sitting around and watching crypto YouTube videos all day, you are wasting your time. Right? You should just be watching the channels that really give you the most value. There's no point in watching every single crypto YouTube video that comes out every day. You could be building a business, my man or girl. So let's get into Facebook's Libra. So amid heavy regulatory pushback, the Libra Association again dips into the traditional banking world for a major hire. Today, the Libra Association announced the hiring of Sterling Daines as its chief compliance officer, plucking an experienced director from the traditional banking industry. Daines will join Libra later this year after stepping down from his current role as managing director and global head of financial crime compliance at Credit Suisse. Daines' career has been heavily focused on federal crime compliance, including issues of money laundering, corruption, sanctions, bribery, and fraud. He says, "I am pleased to join the Libra Association as it works to transform the digital payment space to empower billions of people. A critical element of achieving this mission is to ensure we are building a safe, compliant, and reliable platform for all users, which I look forward to significantly contributing to." Daines previously worked for Goldman Sachs and also led the U.S. forensic data analytics team at Deloitte Financial Advisory Services. He's also served as a consultant for the U.S. Department of Justice and the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, also known as FinCEN. Libra Association shifted gears, unveiling a new white paper this past April that ditched the long-term goal of a permissionless currency. Instead, and listen to this, guys, Libra will launch a series of stablecoins, each backed by one of the world's major fiat currencies. In May, the company announced that current HBSC Chief Legal Officer Stuart Levy will join as Libra's first CEO, while the former director of FinCEN, Robert Werner, will serve as Libra's general counsel. So, guys, in my opinion, I don't like Libra. Why would I want Zuckerberg to get any more type of control than he already has, and to be able to collect any more data that he's already stolen from us? So I don't really like the coin, but they are making moves. But I don't really see this as a threat. I remember when Libra first came out, people were scared of like, oh, is this a threat towards XRP? Guys, the banking industry, they don't even want all these technocrats to keep getting more and more power, right? Like the banking industry and all the bankers don't want Mark Zuckerberg to be overtaking them. Like the last thing they want is to have a guy like Zuckerberg, or have a guy who have these big tech companies come in and start gaining more power than them. So I think Libra is going to have a really hard time getting through regulatory issues. I just don't see it being a smooth ride for them. I think they will have a coin. I think people will use Libra if they continue to put the effort in, which it seems like they are, because they're making these very big hires. But as far as Libra competing with XRP, that does not keep me up at night. With that said, guys, I highly recommend you guys check out this YouTube video. It's called The Great Reset, and it's from the World Economic Forum. And I'm not going to play it here. Just go ahead and watch it. And this is just 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then if you have the time, which I highly suggest if you don't have the time, you make the time and watch the full video of this, which is about 1.5 hours long. It's also on the same YouTube channel. Now, it's not that I want to promote these people. It's not that I want to promote the World Economic Forum, but you should really watch this video, and especially you should watch the 1.5 hour long video if you really want to wake up and see what's going to happen in this world. If you really want to see the plan that some people have, if you want to see how cryptos are working into this, and so you know how your life is going to be effective. The other thing I want you guys to notice, and I know I've mentioned this in a previous video, but look for similar things. So a lot of people in the XRP community, or maybe the crypto community, you guys have probably heard of the Great Reset before, right? You guys have heard this. You guys have also heard of probably leveling the playing field, correct? So now look for the verbiage that you're used to. You have to look for that being put into the mainstream media. So when I see World Economic Forum come out with the Great Reset, and I've been researching these cryptocurrencies for years, talking about the Great Reset, and now these massive companies, the World Economic Forum is using the same wordage. That means something. You can call that coincidence. Me personally, I don't believe in coincidences. I think everything happens for a reason, and this is happening for a reason. So just keep a lookout for this to happen more. There's a lot of verbiage that us in the crypto community are used to, but you have to look for this verbiage and look for these agendas being played out to the mainstream and to the masses. This is an indicator that they are going to start normalizing this for people. They're going to start normalizing people to digital dollars, to internet currency, to Bitcoin, to all these different types of things. So just something to look out for. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys enjoyed 2 videos in one day. Hey, if you guys stuck around, please let me know. Like, put a I stayed till the end in the comments. I just really want to know who's actually here and sticking to the end. I really do appreciate that. I can't believe anybody would watch one of my videos completely to the end. But if you did, thank you so much. And if you guys would subscribe to the channel for daily cryptocurrency news, go ahead and feel free. With that said, I will probably see you guys tomorrow morning.